Todd, welcome to the show.
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah. So for those that don't know Todd, Todd is the senior brand marketing manager at Refine Labs. And we've been going back and forth on LinkedIn. I stumbled upon his TikTok videos. So those that aren't on TikTok, what's your handle or whatever, the at symbol?
It is Todd_Clouser.
Yeah. And he posts a ton of great marketing tips, demand gen pointers as well too. So definitely give him a follow. And a lot of B2B marketers are, already experimenting. I would say more than experimenting. They're like going full blown on TikTok. But I wanted to dive right in to the questions. What inspired you to choose a career in B2B marketing, Todd?
To be quite honest with you, I didn't start in B2B marketing. I actually started, well, I take that back. I kind of started in B2B. The company that I worked for was a manufacturer that manufactured welding automation products, but they hired me to start a website called weld.com. And at the time, they didn't really know what they wanted to do with it.
Classic.
So they were kind of building it and figuring it out as we went. And originally it was like a directory style website. This was back in 2011. And even back then that was kind of an outdated model because you can find whatever you want on Google really nowadays.
Right.
So the first 6 months, my job was 100 cold calling, the coldest possible leads you can think of. I was handed a book that had information that it wasn't even collected from forms or anything. This was somebody else's data given to me. And my goal was to cold call them all day long to try to get them a free listing on our website. And that was the most miserable job I ever had. I got cussed out, all the things that SDRs can probably relate to.
That's true.
So I tried to figure out a way that I could get them to come to me rather than me cold calling them. So that's when we started the YouTube channel. The educational content we were putting out then had way more value than the actual original business model that was being built. So we shifted the whole business model to focus around that.
Right.
And then that's when it kind of became like more of a B2C educational. It had very much of like an influencer type of model. We had on one side, people were paying us to sponsor their products. On the other side, we had an e-commerce store and we were doing different things, selling direct to the consumer. I did that for a while, and then I knew a couple people that dove into the B2B SaaS space. And, I was kind of looking for something new. Figured it'd be fun to try a different industry. And I felt like B2B SaaS is, there's a lot of upward mobility. So I started posting on LinkedIn. I went on a couple podcasts, and shortly after that, I started doing B2B SaaS stuff.
You become a veteran at podcasting now.
I don't know about that.
So is that also, did you apply to Refine Labs at that point when you were like, you know what, I am going to go in this direction with B2B SaaS companies?
So Refine Labs actually wasn't my first go into B2B SaaS. I was working at a company called Customer Gauge for about a year. And I heard about the opening at Refine. I did like the one-click apply thing. Just honestly, not even really thinking about it. Like, what kind of hit the one-click apply thing. And a week later, after 2 interviews, a week later, had a job offer. So it was kind of like, how cool would it be to work for this company? But didn't necessarily think it was going to happen, and just kind of threw my hat in the ring, and here I am.
That's awesome. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, senior brand marketing manager at Refine Labs. What do you do in this specific role?
So I am responsible for a couple different channels within Refine Lab on our internal marketing team. My background being YouTube, I was brought in to help grow the YouTube channel at Refine Labs, as well as launch the TikTok channel for the company and personal brands. So that's kind of, those are the two channels that we're trying to really launch. And then I also, I don't run it completely, but I run it in tandem with another on the LinkedIn brand account, and kind of managing the day-to-day of the State of Demand Gen podcast. So
nice.
In a nutshell, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah. Let's dive right into YouTube and TikTok, because I know TikTok is a hot topic. YouTube Shorts is a hot topic, but just YouTube in general, because I know you're definitely an expert. And I've just, so for you guys that are listening or even watching this on YouTube, I direct messaged Todd on LinkedIn about some YouTube questions, which happy to just go ahead and repeat that too here. Like, hey, what's the location on the video? Does that really matter in regards to the videos that we post on Jaron Web Marketing YouTube channel? And the other question that I remember, Todd, from the top of my mind, I'm trying to remember it, is the style video. Does that really matter? And you gave me some really good answers, and would love for you to just, touch on those and cover that. And then we can touch more. I'll have different questions for you after we talk about that.
So, going to be 100% honest. I don't remember the answer I gave you at the time. So
I remember them.
Hopefully this matches up. But as far as location goes, entering a location for the video, let's put it this way. In all of the YouTube content that I've ever created, I've never changed the location. It's all when the channel was set up, I put in United States. And that's all it's ever been. Now, to clarify on that a little bit, and maybe this will shed some light for some people that are overthinking this, is when I was with well.com, the location that was listed was the United States. Only about 56% of the viewership on that channel came from the United States. So we had high viewership in Canada, high viewership in Australia, high viewership in the UK. Pretty much any English speaking countries, we had high viewership, and didn't see. I don't think that the location within the metadata would have changed that whatsoever.
And then in regards to the style, is it a how-to style video? Well, wait, let's rewind a little bit. So basically we can leave the location blank or put USA if we really feel like we need to fill it.
I mean, if you feel the need, I mean, just put the country that you're in, or where you see your ideal customer.
Right. The other thing is the how-to, the style, right? That doesn't really matter either. If it's educational, entertainment, how-to.
So when creating content for YouTube, you have to remember that YouTube is by and large, excluding shorts and that sort of thing, YouTube is a entertainment platform for the most part. And I don't care if you're going there to figure out how to do something, or if you're going there, streaming it to your TV and watching something at night. It's a entertainment platform. And what I mean by that is your goal in creating any content, whether it's on YouTube or not, but specifically on YouTube, is to get the person from the first second of that video to the last second of that video without fast forwarding or, skipping around. You want that maximum session time, that maximum watch time on your video. Now, the best way to do that is by being entertaining.
Right.
So, I mean, yes, you can do that by being extremely, educational, and that's one way to do it. But 99% of the time, if I can provide both, if I can provide you the value that you came to get in an entertaining way, that video is going to do 100 times better than the same exact video that step 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right.
Every single time.
Totally. Now, what's your guys' exact podcast process? And the reason why I'm asking it is a lot of people on LinkedIn post about, start a podcast, start using video, start doing all this stuff, and you'll get, improved. You'll improve your brand. You'll get inbound leads. You'll get all this other stuff, which is 100% true, but no one's really talking about the process. So what is Refine Labs' exact process when it comes to podcasting?
Honestly, I think a lot of people really overcomplicate this, and I've overcomplicated this in the past, so I'm not judging anybody. It's pretty simple. We start, Chris every week does a live event called Demand Gen Live, where people just like me and you are talking now come into a Zoom.
Right.
He starts with anywhere from 2 to 3 agenda topics. So like we have 2 to 3 bullet points that he knows he's going to talk about in advance. That topic he may talk about for 2 minutes. He may talk about for 10 to 15 minutes, but
right.
That's not the full episode. So he goes into a topic. Generally, we've got anywhere from 50 to 100 people in a given week in that event. So that topic spurs a lot of questions. And then he goes through and literally does one-on-one answers for all of those questions. We take at the end of that hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes, at the end of that event, we take that Zoom call. We take the audio, we throw in an intro at the beginning, an outro at the end, and we upload it as a podcast. That goes out every single Wednesday, the day after we shoot the live event. Now,
it's a quick turnaround time.
Yeah, but
it's really just the intro, outro.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot involved. I mean, we don't focus on making everything sound absolutely perfect. I mean, we don't cut people's questions out from the event. So like, if you're asking a question and you don't have a mic and, you're in a echoey room, that makes it onto the podcast. We don't focus on being 100% perfect and crisp with the audio. We focus on the quality of the content. And we put that, when you do that, it's super easy to turn around quick. And then Chris also just from building his own personal brand and audience and doing that, he gets invited to go on a whole lot of external podcasts. So when he goes out on an external podcast, generally what we do is we ask if we can have the audio from that. They'll put it out. And then sometime after they get it out, we'll kind of recut the same content for our podcast as well. And we do that twice a week. So we've got 3 total podcasts that go out every week.
Nice. And is it Wednesday and Saturdays that it goes out?
Right now it is Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
Gotcha.
And we're actually, we're playing around with the idea of going to 4 days a week, which tells you kind of how much content that we can put out. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely works. And you can chop it up millions of times and repurpose it and everything. Now with the video part, I see that it's, you guys chop it up. Do you chop it up I definitely see it on Chris's profile on LinkedIn, but do you also chop it up for the company pages, or you guys don't post as much on the company pages on LinkedIn?
We don't post as much of it on the company page. We do post some. But as far as video goes, after the Zoom is recorded, we have an in-house videographer / editor that will take all that content, chop it up, create the mini clips from it,
Yeah.
Now we're also creating YouTube videos from it, TikToks from it. What started as 3 podcasts a week is now 3 podcasts a week, 7 YouTube videos a week, 7+ TikToks a week. And we've scaled that all without having to scale the team all that much.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then my other question is, how can B2B marketers utilize YouTube and TikTok? Because you're doing a great job with it. I've been seeing you post consistently on TikTok and pretty much preaching about it on LinkedIn, which I love your videos, by the way. They're super comedy.
I try to, my goal is to be that edutainment, right? Like I was talking about with the,
Right.
with the YouTube stuff. So like my goal is to have, at least in my personal brand videos, my goal is to have at least one takeaway from the video. And now that's not in every single video, but you know, I try to make it that there's one piece of like somebody could get something from the video. And my goal is to deliver that in a way that makes it super watchable and shareable. And
yeah. I still remember the one, I think it was on LinkedIn. I started cracking up. I appreciate your videos. And it was like, all right, you marketers, here's how you increase your YouTube channel. And then you start showing something. And then you're like, all right, now that the salespeople aren't looking, let me show you how to do it. And you said that like multiple times throughout the video. I was like, that's super genius. And it's so true because, you know, they're still going to keep watching it.
Yeah, right.
So that was really good. I love that. Genius, super creative. And yeah, TikTok has the whole editor side, makes it super easy. You don't really need a video editor or anything for that. I mean, if you're doing it directly, right? No,
I mean, TikTok makes it that it's incredibly, and this is another thing, whether you create a massive following or not, I think people like they're very focused on like, you know, the things that I get all the time, because like you said, I've been trying to get more and more of the LinkedIn community over to TikTok. The things that I encounter are, you know, my customers aren't on TikTok. You know, B2B doesn't work for TikTok. It's boring. You know, how am I going to create B2B content on TikTok? I'm going to look like an idiot. You know, all the things that you hear. But one main takeaway that I think everybody should have, and has certainly been the case for me, is even if I get nothing else out of TikTok, what I have gotten from it over the past month or two is I have become a way better content creator on other platforms, and not just sharing my TikToks,
right?
But the level of creativity that's coming out of that platform compared to LinkedIn or Instagram or even YouTube, it's just, it blows it away. So at the very least, if you get on the platform, you create a couple videos, you'll be a better content creator for it. So yeah, there's that.
That's good. No, that's good tips, advice about that. And I truly believe that you got to start posting now. I do believe that, hey, like it's November 11th, 2021, like 8-12 months from now, that platform is going to skyrocket, which is flooded. Just get flooded with B2B companies.
Well, I mean, think about it this way, and you know, somebody can probably poke holes in this, but think about LinkedIn in 2017, 2018, right? Like, it was a recruiting platform.
Right.
The only reason you went on LinkedIn is if you were trying to find a new job. Right. And, you know, and I fell into this category too. Like, someone told me back when I was creating well.com content, I said, like, they said you should start posting on LinkedIn. I'm like, what the hell am I going to post on LinkedIn for? Like, my audience, my welders aren't on LinkedIn. Same argument that right. People are coming at me with TikTok. And, you know, 2019 rolls around, LinkedIn organic reach like goes absolutely nuts, and every single B2B person floods to LinkedIn to build an audience, because that's like the place to be.
Totally.
And myself included. Like, now that I'm in this B2B space, like, I wish I wouldn't have been so short-sighted in 2018 when someone told me I should start posting on LinkedIn. Because if I did that, like, my audience would be 10 times the size it is right now. It's the same exact thing with TikTok.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the guy who's now telling everybody else in B2B, you need to get on TikTok, because a year from now, 2 years from now, whatever, you're going to regret it if you didn't, because it's going to be LinkedIn in 2019.
Yeah. I was hearing Gary Vee talk about the advice he gave people about a year or two about joining TikTok. They took the advice. They're now thanking him. They're making a ton of cash.
100%. But
and it's like, that's crazy. And it's still there. It's still somewhat brand new.
The first TikTok account I created was in 2000 and it was like March of 2019. I went to a conference. One of the breakout sessions was TikTok. I went to it, and she literally said, all right, everybody, like, let's create a TikTok for your brand. So like at the time it was well.com. That's what I did. That account went from 0 to the time I was sitting in that audience to like 35,000 ish in the course of maybe 15 posts. I mean, like, tell me another channel you can get 35,000 people following you from 15 posts.
That's a lot of eyeballs. Yeah.
There's another one that I manage. I literally started at the same time I started my personal TikTok about 3 weeks ago, and it's got 10,000 followers on it. And I spend maybe, this is being conservative. I'm sorry. This is like overshooting it. I spend maybe 5 minutes a day on this account. I wake up, I scroll through like trending stuff in that industry. I pick one, I repost, give the person credit. It's 100% user generated content. I don't even care if it's got the product that this manufacturer makes. The goal is to create this massive audience. And by the time I do have something, if I have a new feature I want to talk about, if I have a new, product coming out, whatever it is, I've got a built-in audience of 10,000 followers and about 1 million more that are primed and ready to see it. 5 minutes awesome. A day. I kid you not. I don't have more than 2 hours invested in that account. And I would say the highest viewed piece of content has 4.5 million views and tons of engagement, conversations happening in the comment section. And every 3 or 4 posts, one goes off for 250,000.
Wow. Now I wanted to jump into, just coming up on time, just rapid fire questions, quick answers from you. YouTube Shorts or TikTok, if you had to invest in one?
TikTok.
Okay.
All day.
YouTube Shorts or regular YouTube video?
Regular YouTube video.
Okay.
All day.
What's been the biggest insights that you see that people could be jumping on and capitalizing on when it comes to YouTube and TikTok?
TikTok, my biggest insight or piece of advice is don't waste time. Get on it now, because it's not going to be long from now where that organic reach is going to be a whole lot more difficult to get. YouTube, my biggest insight is people don't want to go on the platform because they say it's saturated. Having a saturated platform only means that there's a massive audience for whatever you're trying to get out.
Right.
Your goal is to make your message or your piece of content that much more enticing to watch than the people that are already already have the audience. And if you do it right, it doesn't take as long as people think.
Next question and last question. Best time to post on TikTok from your experience?
Honestly, I haven't noticed that time really matters at this point.
Awesome. Well, that's it, Todd. Thanks again for joining the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And let's keep in touch.
100%.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As a reminder, don't forget to subscribe. You can also listen to our podcast on your favorite podcasting app.